Well, hey everybody, I hope that you are enjoying this series that we are in on the Apostles' Creed. Sunday Plus was a blast having everyone together in the same room. It's just good to do that, to look around and to say, this is St. Peter's Church. Hope you were able to stay after and have lunch and connect with some people you know and maybe meet some people you don't. We had just finished up the third week of this series on the Apostles' Creed. If you are in a group, we just want to continue to dialogue around what this creed means. What does it mean to live in loyalty to what the early church set down to say, this is the marrow of our faith? And so last week, this past Sunday, today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're studying this past week we studied the line that he was conceived. We're talking about Jesus here, the Son of God, eternal, begotten, not made, that he was conceived by the Holy Spirit and that he was born of the Virgin Mary, which is, as I talked about this Sunday, is probably the most difficult pill for people to swallow. It's not even that he was risen from the dead, though that's a big one for people to swallow anyway, but that he was born of the Virgin Mary. A virgin birth, it's extremely unlikely. I don't know if we know anyone that has ever had a virgin birth other than Mary. And so it's a challenge. Like, how do you answer your neighbors when it's that question of like, do you really believe he was born of the Virgin Mary? And so this past Sunday, I tried to lay out the reason that the early church wanted to keep that as a priority belief. And what we see more than anything is that it legitimizes that the divinity and humanity can coexist. That would never be something the Greeks would say. They would say the divine is somewhere else and humans are lowly and they're over here and they can never coexist. What we see in Jesus is from the Holy Spirit, he is divine, and from Mary, he's fully man. And those things are housed together in Jesus of Nazareth. And it is the most beautiful thing. And so it's an amazing claim that we make. And so I just want you to process in group life tonight what it means to you that he was conceived by the Holy Spirit, what it means to you that he was born of the Virgin Mary. Does it still matter? How does that factor into your faith? What does that mean practically for daily existence? What we know is that the Holy Spirit, the same Holy Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead, was sent to live in us, which means that the divine life of God through the Spirit lives in our human flesh, that the Spirit lives inside of us, which means that the divine life is part of who we are now because of grace, because of what Jesus has done, sending the Spirit to pour in our hearts, and God lives in us. That's an incredible claim. So may you walk out your faith this week. May you find ways to integrate what it means to be loyal to this creed into your daily life at work, in your neighborhood, in your family. And may you find yourself growing more and more and more in love with a God who already has loved you since before you were born. Grace and peace, my friends.